Howard here with How to Play Great Blues Solos. This is lesson number 5 in the series. And let me recap just a little bit. In lessons 1 through 4, we were using a 12-bar blues in the key of A using all major chords, dominant sevenths, ninths, etc. Okay? And as a note, the 3 chords being used are A minor 7, D minor 7, and E7 sharp 9. Those are the 3 blues chords that we're using for this progression. So essentially what we're doing here is we're taking the basic blues information and we are combining it with the natural minor scale, okay? And a shining example of this would be Since I've Been Loving You from Zeppelin, of course, where Jimmy masterfully combines the blues information with the minor scale information. So as a tip of the hat to him in this lesson, we'll definitely include some pageisms, okay? So let me play it for you first, and then we will dive into the tutorial. So we are in the key of A once again, but in this case, A minor, okay? So let me first talk about the 4 scale positions that I'm using, okay? I'm not using every note in every one of these scales, of course, but these are the scales that I'm targeting to put this together, okay? So first thing is the standard blues scale. Want to know that in its linear form as well. Okay. And then we want to know the natural minor scale. And that, by the way, is the fingering that we want to use. We don't want to do the 3 notes per string sort of metal approach. Right? Because what we want to do is we want to layer that natural minor scale right on top of the blues scale, where they're just sitting like that, if you know what I mean. Blues, minor. They just sit right on top of each other, and that's what we're looking for. That's the way Page and so many classic blues rock players look at it, okay? Now, we also want to know those 2 scales up high, the octave higher position for the A blues scale linear. And then, of course, the natural minor as well. And those are the 4 fingerings that I'm pulling from to put this all together. All right, so let's take on the first lick. And this first phrase happens right over the first chord, the A minor 7. All right, so let's slow that down. You can see the tab on the screen. So right out the gate, you can see that I'm subtly combining the blues information. It's just standard pentatonic stuff with a little bit of that minor scale. Very Jimmy Page, if you will, and Jeff Beck, of course. So once again, nice and slow. And then we're going to do that same type of thing again, just some basic blues or pentatonic style bends combined with the minor scale bends. And you want to watch those bends, right? You want those pentatonic bends to be full steps and then half step to capture that minor scale. And then from there, from that note right there, we're just simply climbing an A minor scale. Slowly. And then at this point, we are connecting with the D minor 7 chord, okay? And this is very Jimmy Page as well, very Jeff Beck. You want to get inside that chord, that type of thing, to really capture the chord. So from that climb up, we will have this. And that gets us right inside that D minor 7 chord. So let me do that again slowly. And we are definitely going Since I've Been Loving You here, okay? All right, that's a great way to attack that 4 chord, the D minor, or any minor chord in a 1-4-5 blues. So let me play that one nice and slow for you. Right there, that connects us right back to the A minor 7 chord. And then from there, we're just playing a stone cold blues lick. Right, just a standard blues lick with that flat 5 in there. Here it is nice and slow. And then the next phrase is... And that is played over the 5 chord, the E7 sharp 9. And then it moves back to the 4 chord, which is D minor 7, and we have this little quick phrase. Right? That is also very Jimmy Page, of course. And so let me slow that one down. And then we're right in that linear blues scale. Right? And you might recognize that little tag there from the ocean. But let me do that nice and slow. And then that last phrase is repeated an octave higher. So the whole phrase is... Okay, and then we finish that off connecting back with the E7 sharp 9 again. Nice and slow and lazy on that bend. And we are back to the 1 chord again, the A minor 7, and we're going to roll through another 12-bar round, okay?